Hey everybody, it's Jimmy, thinking out loud. Today I want to talk about grief. I know I've covered the subject before, but I'm watching someone, little pieces of it on Facebook. I'm seeing somebody struggle, and it affects me every time I see someone struggle over the loss of a loved one. As many of you know, I lost my mom while I was in prison. She died from cancer. She had a double mastectomy. It had spread to her lymph nodes, and not much longer, a couple years after she had her mastectomy, it riddled her body and eventually took her. And that's a very difficult thing to deal with. Any loss at all of a loved one is difficult to deal with. But there's one thing for sure, and that's that none of us are going to make it out of this alive. Death is tragic and it's sad, and I hate to lose someone. I hate to see someone go. But I think it's important that we take care of ourselves after we lose a loved one. Sometimes we shut down and we let that loss consume us. And it's extremely important that we don't let that loss consume us. We still have a life to live. We have children. We have, many of us have children. We have somebody that loves us, somebody that counts on us. And it's tragic when the loss of someone causes another type of loss for those that love us. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. Say you have kids, for instance, and you lose your spouse, and now there's this void and you don't know how to pick up the pieces, and that's okay. It's devastating and we don't know what to do next. That's okay. But we need to get our bearing and figure out what we're going to do next. Make a plan and pick up the pieces. I'm not saying forget about that person. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is if you get caught up in grief, you control how long that grief will be with you. You may not feel like you control it, but you can be sad for a day, a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, a year, a decade, and that's because you're holding on to that sadness. Moments of sadness are one thing, but I'm talking about this depression and this sadness that you can't let go of. And I think if you lose someone and you have this sadness and you just can't shake it and it's affecting other parts of your life, then I think you should seek some professional help. At least someone to talk to. I talk to myself all the time. I talk to my mom, who's been deceased for years now, all the time. I'll also take out a pen and paper and just get your feelings and thoughts and stuff out. All of these things can help, and everybody grieves differently. But my point today is you have to pick up the pieces. You have to find a way to move on. Think about your loved one that you lost. Okay, how would your loved one feel if they see you so distraught, so sad, and so dejected? How would that make them feel? Because we don't know that they can't see us, right? But I know my mom wouldn't like to see me, grieving all the time. Or see that her loss was affecting my life in a negative way. We get one shot at this thing called life, and then we don't know what's next. There are a lot of ideas out there. There are a lot of theories out there. Many religions have different theories about what happens next, but we don't know. But we know that person's not suffering. They're not suffering from physical pain or day-to-day anguish. The different daily trials that we all go through, those are gone for that person. Now they're at peace and on to the next journey, whatever that may be. It's important to let go of that sadness. I don't know. I don't know why I'm compelled to make this video. I mean, I do. I'm watching somebody struggle right now. Through little bits and pieces on Facebook, and I'm going to share this with them directly too. But it just makes me so sad to see someone not living up to their full potential. We get one shot, and we don't even know how long we get for that one shot. You know, I could drop dead tomorrow. We don't know. So it's important that we live today. Tomorrow's not promised. And we all have someone else that loves us. And it's a shame to let this sadness control your life. That's all I got today. Peace and love, everyone. Find happiness within, please.